Alright, welcome back to the Horse Corner for one of my favorite videos to film all year. This is my BreyerFest 2025 haul. I don't know what order I'm going to put them out, but there will also be an experience video. I had such a good time at BreyerFest with all of you guys. It was so short this year. Anything was going to be shorter than 2024 though, because we were there for 9 days. So the 5 days felt so short, but it was an amazing 5 days. It was excellent. I am 1000% still recovering. I am actually most definitely ill right now. I sound a lot better than I did yesterday. I wanted to film this yesterday and I was miserable. Like, I was knocked on my booty yesterday. I think it's just allergies. I feel like I always say something about my allergies in these videos because it affects the way that I sound, and I swear I don't sound congested all the time. It just so happens that a lot of the time when I choose to film is like the height of allergy season. So bear with me a little bit. The shark has arrived. Yeah, so every BreyerFest is so different, and I think that hauls reflect that as well. My haul this year looks totally different from my haul last year, looks totally different from my haul every other year I've gone to BreyerFest. Every year I've gone, I've been focusing on different things and different areas of my collecting and of the hobby. Obviously, you guys know I'm an original Finnish Breyer girly. That has not changed. But we'll talk about why I added certain things, why I didn't add other things, and all of the other things in between. So I'm not going to go into my experience very much in this video because, again, filming an experience video. But I do want to start really quickly. I filmed some clips before I made my Celebration Horse shadow box this year of all of the goodies that I got from you guys and around the horse park this year. So I'm gonna let those clips roll as the first part of my haul because that's the most special part, that's the most important part, that's the community. So I'm gonna let those roll now. Okay, so this is my video clip before I make my shadow box for this year. I wanted to go over all the little things that I picked up and that people gave me at the park, because once they're in there, I will show this guy, but it's gonna be kind of hard to see everything unless you're like picking him up and looking at it. So anyways, that's what we're doing here, is I just wanted to go through all the stuff so that it doesn't get left out or diminished in any way, because this is the fun stuff. These are the memories, these are the things that I got from you guys and from Breyer that helped me remember the week. So, and Cookie says I'm never allowed to go to BreyerFest again because he won't leave me alone. He's very happy that I am home. You cannot eat me. You can't do that. Oh, big stretch. He's very happy. So from Breyer directly, things that are probably gonna go in that box. I did finally, you guys, finally this year, I got a pin. This is the first BreyerFest I've been to in person that I was able to get one of these. They always sold out, so I don't have pins from 23 or 24, which is sad. But I guess if there was a year to get a pin, it would be the 75th anniversary. So I got a pin. There's that. Also from Breyer, of course, I have my 5K medal. This one was actually quite large. I don't know if the one last year, like the ribbon is really thick. But it's very cute. It is this enamel kind of large medal just for finishing the 5K. Also from Breyer is, of course, my plush. I always get the plush every year. He's 485 out of 1950, and they put 2025 on his other foot. So this is Party Pal, right? Is his name? Yeah, Party Pal. And he's got like a little sash on him. So he will, as long as he fits, he will live in my shadow box like the others. I also, as I do every year, had to get the annual Onyx Arts print. This is done by my good friend Barry. He does lovely work. You can see all of his contact information there. He does a free print every year and they are so cool. Okay, and also from Breyer, I always hold on to this. This was my little place card for my collector's class entry at the open show. So that will be going in the shadow box. Got a couple of things from Stone here. This was from the Art of the Horse dinner. This was from my name tag, and then I was seat 2 at the table. So the seat numbers are how they dictate the shopping order. And they've got the 2 dinner models on there in this nice kind of graphic. I'm gonna try to use these. They're quite big and space is limited, but they are definitely going in that pile. I always swing by the Big Lex table because they have such cool stuff. I love these Big Lex stickers. They are actual fabric, and I think that is so cool. These always wind up in my shadow box, so I always grab a few of them. But what they had this year that I thought was gorgeous was the this Big Lex postcard. These were free, and they are beautiful. This art with all the flowers is just stunning. I love the color palette. I thought that was so cool. And then they also normally have like this Lexington guide, which sometimes there's fun maps and stuff in here to cut out. So these are all shadow box materials. We also got this map of the Clarion with our check-in. And I just thought it was funny because it looks terrible even just from this map. So thought that was funny. Another name tag. This was my volunteer name tag. And then the magnet from this year. These were free. See, most of this stuff, it's all free. You get all this free stuff, which is why these shadow boxes are so fun and accessible because everything is free. This is my friend Rachel's sticker for her Etsy shop. She was handing these out. Very cute graphic and logo. These were a couple of stickers I got in my little goodie bag from judging at the Resin Renaissance. These will definitely go in the shadow box. Again, more free stuff. So much free, fun things that you can use to make your shadow box. Not that that's what these clips are about, but it's just an example because look at all that stuff. I also I'm sure that I'll talk about this in my experience video, but I did get a fish postcard signed by Will Coleman. And I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. This was such a cool, just like happenstance experience. So this is going to be probably front and center in the shadow box. I also snatched a couple Harkness bookmarks because you know that we love Hark over here. You can see all of the books that his people have written. Hark's book is there on the end. These are these super pretty bookmarks that Hark's people were giving out for free at their table. This is my 5K number. Again, quite large. I'll probably have most of it covered up except for the Bash Dash logo there. And then Hark's people also made birthday hats. They're so cute and so nice and just such good people. But they made and were giving away birthday hats because of Breyer's anniversary, and it has Hark on them. How cute is this? I obviously like deconstructed mine and folded it so that it took up less space, but isn't that so cute? Like, how thoughtful of them to like play into Breyer's anniversary like that. I just thought that was so cute. These are stickers that my friend Emily made. She's the curly horse queen. This is one of her family horses. She said she took this photo. You can just see how curly his hair is in this photo. It's so cute. This will definitely be a front and center in my shadow box. I love Emily's curly horses, and I thought this was so cute. And then this will be definitely a highlight piece as well in my shadow box. I did bid in the live auction this year. I was bidder 149. Didn't come home with anything this year, but I did bid and it was a really cool experience, so I definitely want to hold on to this. And then at the live auction, I did grab a bid sheet. Don't know if I'll use this in the shadow box. It's quite large, but just a cool memento from the first auction that I ever bid in, and it's got pictures of all the beautiful models and the nice 75 years logo. Another name tag. I don't know if I'm going to put all of them in there. there's so many, but this was from judging at the Resin Renaissance. And then this is my scrapbook program. I always grab two, one that I like to keep fully intact, and then this one, you can see I picked this one because it got kind of smushed, that I am willing to tear up and put pieces of in there. I did have an ad in the program this year that I was really proud of, so I will definitely be cutting that out and keeping it. And then again, the hobby information booth demo was such a fun experience. I will definitely be cutting out the schedule, at least for scrapbook, if not for my shadow box this year, because this was so fun. This will not be going in my shadow box, but I figure I'll show it now so that I can just start using it. I don't have to pull it back down when I'm filming my actual haul video. But this is the Gray Fox pottery piece for this year. They've been making pieces for BreyerFest at least since I've been attending, so since 2020. And I've always gotten a piece by them each year. I love these. I think it's pottery. I think it's clay. I'm not sure. I think it's cast clay. I don't know a lot about this, so forgive me, but I love, this is like large. This is almost like a stein. But I drink a lot of coffee, so this works out well for me. And it's got Breyer's colors for the 75th anniversary, which is so cool. Last year's, I think, was the purple one, and I loved it. I loved it. I have the purple mug from last year, the purple bowl from the year before, and then the turquoise mug from Horse of a Different Color. And I forget what Celtic Fling was, but this is my fourth piece, maybe fifth piece from them. So it's a tradition now. I get these every year, and this one is beautiful and large. This is Pickles. My friend Erin was giving away these hippos to people at BreyerFest, and I got the green one, and his name is Pickles. So here is Pickles. I did not do a lot of bracelet trading this year, but I did get this one. I forget who gave this to me. I'm so sorry, but it's cats. See the cats? Cats. And then I also got one, I don't have it down here, but my friend Tiffany made it for me and I love it so much. It has, it says CWS in like letter beads and it's blue and it's so cute. And I thought it was so thoughtful that she customized them. And this one has cats. Then these, I thought this was so kind and so generous. I believe, I'll put her username on the screen, but I believe it's Midwest Models made these and was giving these out for free at the social media meet. So this is a really nice stablemate scale pony pouch with this gorgeous like hunter, fox hunting fabric. And it's got this little button and it unbuttons. Look at that. And she was giving these away for free. I thought that was so kind and so generous. And it's just a beautiful fabric and a really well-made pouch. It's super soft. All right, and then here's my pair of creme brulee medallions from the Resin Renaissance. He was the medallion prize that was given to sectional and overall champions at Resin Renaissance. Not only did they do him in like 6 different colors, but they also have obviously the braided version and a loose mane version, which I thought was so cool. I got the braided version as my judging pride, and I was given the long mane version after the show was over. But how cool is it to have a matching set in the same color? Just one is bobbed and one is braided and one is loose. I thought that was such a nice detail and so fun to have the same one, just different mane styles. Okay, and then talk about another really cool handout that was going on. We had Pickles, the hippo. We had this amazing pony pouch. These were both free. People just giving them out of the kindness of their hearts. My friend Katie made a bunch of these incredible, like beautifully made 1/9 scale rosettes. And they say BreyerFest 2025 with a silhouette of Pam on them. She was giving these away. She had a whole bag of them. She was just giving them away as little goodies and trinkets to remember BreyerFest by. I thought that was so nice. She originally
gave me this one. And then on Sunday, she was like, take another one. And I was like, all right, I'll get the inverted version, still Breyer colors. But I thought this was so kind. I truly like cannot imagine, as somebody who's like trying to learn how to make these, I cannot imagine how long it took her to make so many of them. So Katie, that was so nice of you. These are beautiful. And then this is a keychain, also came from Midwest Models. She was giving these out inside of these pony pouches. So you got a pony pouch, and then inside of it, you got this adorably packaged, handmade keychain. It was so nice, so cool. And then I wish I knew who I got this from. I don't. We ran into each other in the Clarion, and she was just handing these things out by the dozen on Sunday night. It is a sparkly old-timer silhouette keychain. I thought this was so cute. Again, just giving them out to folks, and I thought that all of this stuff was so creative. Bracelet trading is super fun, but like, look at all of the creativity there of people just going out of their way to make really cool free goodies for you to take home to remember the weekend by. And being creative, making a bunch of different things. I thought this was so cool. All right, and last but not least, before we just get into the model haul, is this amazing medallion done by Sacha Ferris. Sacha, I swear, teaches herself a new trade and perfects it every year before BreyerFest. This year, she was very into armor. She had 3 gorgeous, historically accurate 1/9 scale sets of armor that you could purchase at the Artisan's gallery. And then kind of to go with that theme, she also made these incredible knight-themed medallions. And I saw her share that she was going to be selling these before she shared her armor sets. And I love anything fantasy or medieval. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't collect medallions, but this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So I showed a picture of it to husband Sam, and I said, hey, if I buy this, will you paint it for me? And he was like, absolutely, I will. That is beautiful. And so, hello. And so that is how this came to pass. So husband Sam is going to paint this for me, but like, I could admire it just unpainted. It is so beautiful.
All right, and here he is all finished. So everything that you just saw, well, almost everything that you just saw is now in this box. This is my shadow boxed fish, and he was super fun to make. I feel like every time I do these, I like the newest one the best. This guy's no exception. He's like, don't tell the other ones. Definitely my favorite that I've done so far. And it was so fun doing him this year, knowing that so many of you guys are doing your own versions of this project at home, and that I got to share this with so many of you at BreyerFest this year. That was like truly, I think that was the highlight of my BreyerFest, was just sharing him with you guys, sharing this project with you guys. He didn't exist in this form during BreyerFest. But anyways, sharing this project with you guys and having so many people be excited about it, and I love it because I think it keeps the magic of BreyerFest alive a little bit longer once you get home, and you can kind of just work on this guy while you are watching the live stream or workshops or seminars. I know I've been watching the live stream has it been a week and a half at time of filming? No, it's been like exactly a week since I've been home from BreyerFest. So I've been watching it the past week. I'm almost done. There's a lot of content. There's so much. And I watched a couple workshops, watched a couple seminars. Anyways, you can work on this project while you're doing those things. And I think it helps keep the memories alive a little bit longer. So yeah, here he is. I love him. I'll share plenty of him. You don't need to see an up close of him because you saw all the little things that went into his box already. But if you want more information about this project, or you do want to see my specific version of this year's celebration horse up close, I'm sure I will have pictures of him on my Instagram. I will also probably have shared a YouTube short, on the making of him. So he'll be around. So here he is. Okay, so I have broken my haul into a couple of different categories, hopefully to just like make it more logical and not just trying to cram everything onto this table, which is probably going to happen anyways. So first, as many of you know, I have started putting my feet in the water with performance showing. I only got a couple of things at BreyerFest that are performance related. I've commissioned 3 tack sets, and I have one really good existing tack set that I'm looking at right now. So I will have 4 tack sets, hopefully within the next month or so. So I really didn't need any tack, at least not until I like start showing and I find holes and I'm like, oh, I could use this for the, like, I don't need to accumulate any more before I start. But there's like lots of filler pieces that I have found that I wanted to have before I tried to show it. And that's kind of what I picked up at BreyerFest. It was only 3 things, but all very useful things, and they're all going to help me fill gaps that I either didn't already have, hadn't purchased, or didn't want to have to try to make on my own. Because I've done that too. I've made quite a few things on my own. I didn't want to fuss with these. So, and you'll find out that even that was a wasted effort because I bought this dressage arena, and I'm not going to use it, which is fine. It wasn't like a terrible investment to have it because I might use it in the future. It's like very basic. It just has the letters and the panel, which is like what dressage arenas are. So it's a good thing to have. I'm not mad that I bought it, but thank you, shark. I did decide to make my own, because I had planters that I really liked and I couldn't quite find a way to integrate them into my dressage entry and also use this arena. So I really wanted to use the planters because I like flowers, I like a pretty thing, and so I just wound up making my own, which is fine. And I have this now because maybe I will need to use this in the future for some reason. So I have it. I'm just not planning on using it right away. So it's fine. We're investing. We're adding merchandise. And then second, this one I am using quite regularly already. I got a stock fence, or like a livestock fence. I'm only showing 2 pieces of it. There are like 12. There's so many of these. I didn't need all of them, but it came in a set, and so now I have this fence. It might be hard for you to see actually because it's black. It wasn't black. I painted it because I wanted it to be black. But yeah, so I have this. It's a 1/9 scale stock fence for like Western style entries. And it's really cool. And I did not want to have to even try to make something like this. So, Western stock fence, livestock fence. All right, and it should not come as a surprise to any of you that my favorite performance thing that I bought is this gorgeous 1/9 scale hunter fence. I feel like this is self-explanatory and I don't really need to talk about it. I love this jump. It is so pretty. I have a couple of like jump pieces already in my performance inventory, but nothing that I really wanted to show with or that I felt like I would show with super competitively. And I saw a picture of this on Facebook and I like screenshotted it. I was like, that is the most beautiful model horse jump I have ever seen. And then proceeded to forget about it in the chaos. And then on Wednesday, we were room shopping a little bit and I walked in and I saw it and I was like, I think that's the one I took that picture of. And so I bought it. It is so pretty. The flower boxes were separate, but they were by the same creators and they were stained the same. So of course I had to get them to go with. But it can be without the flower box, and it has adjustable jump cups, so you can make it bigger. I did make a roll top, which I'm really excited about, and the green matches these ferns, and so I can put the roll top underneath it too, so it can be a bigger fence, or you can fill it with these, and You can either make it a cross rail. I don't know why I'm doing all of this right now. You can make it a cross rail with flower boxes, which is a thing. Or you can just make it like a small vertical with flower boxes. Or you can stick the roll top under it and make it like a bigger fence. So I'm really excited about this. It's really fun. I think it's really pretty. So this was my favorite performance purchase of BreyerFest. All right, next are the minis. I did not get very many minis at BreyerFest this year. I am to a point with my mini collection where I only have really 1 or 2 minis that I want to add besides ones that are new. So I'm not going to go hunting in the Clarion for minis because I kind of have what I want. And the few that I want are probably not going to be for sale in the Clarion, and I will have to hunt them a little bit, which is fine. It's the thrill of the chase, right? But that said, the only minis I came home with by design were this year's event minis. So the actual event minis... Oh wait, I'm missing one. Who am I missing? Realized I was missing one. Sorry. Oh no, I'm a bad mother. All right, sorry. Okay, so the actual 4 set of the event stablemates, I kept 2 of the best of BreyerFest, and then Shindig. He was the online stablemate. They're all really nice. All of the minis that they did for this year's BreyerFest are like crazy nice. They're all on like good molds. They have gorgeous colors. The quality of the models themselves I thought was really good. And there's some pretty complex colors in here. Like this guy, Prosecco, he caught me off guard a little bit. I thought he was just like a flat glossy black because he's a stablemate. But he is shaded. He is a shaded black, and he has striped hooves, which is crazy for a mini. And I think, all right, he doesn't have tri-colored eyes, but I'll forgive them that with a shaded black striped hooved mini. And then again, like super complex colors. Shindig, this Sabino pattern on a mini is really impressive. He also has really good shading. There's some pretty complex Tobiano markings on this girl. She's like maybe a little bit more simple than the other ones, but still like the masking on her is, mine's perfect. There's no smudges on this horse at all, which is awesome. And then mine had a cat hair on her. I was like, is that a scratch? No, it's a cat hair. This girl has a really complex Leopard Appaloosa pattern. No smudges. Everything is crisp. Like, beautiful. And then these 2 are both dappled, like palomino-y colors. Amazing. The dapples are in scale, they're shaded, they're even. Now granted, I did handpick this set and I was very picky. And I was focusing on these 2 because they are obviously my favorites. They're the ones that I was keeping. The dapples on this pony are in scale for a pony. The pony has a pink nose that's a different shade than its hooves. I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill being important. And the hooves are striped also on this one. Like, mind blown. They're amazing. This set of minis is so good. So I was perfectly happy with only coming home with these. Again, by design, I'm not looking to buy any more minis right now except for like a select few. But I wasn't going to pass these up. These are all awesome minis. They're gorgeous. All the colors are amazing. And then the 3 best ofs that I'm not keeping got donated to my photo show series. They're getting used as prizes this month. But these are the ones that are staying with me. They are so lovely. And I don't personally care about the run count of this guy. I wanted the realistic one, not the deco. I didn't love the deco. I don't collect decos. Hi, Sean. Miss Girl! You're not actually in trouble. No, I love you. Can you move? I do have to fix that though. You guys know I'm not a deco collector, so I wanted him, and I got him, and I love my copy. He's really nice. So, here are the minis. All right, and then we're going to move on to traditional limited editions. Starting us off is Bow and Arrow. I did get a copy of Bow. I love the Cleveland Bay, and I thought this color was beautiful. We saw him in Kansas originally, and I knew when I saw him that I wanted to add him. I will typically not say no to a Cleveland Bay. I love this sculpt. He is a shelf hog though, and I'm like maxed out now in terms of Cleveland Bay space, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I did have to get Bow. Again, his color is really nice. I didn't get to meet the real horse in person, but what I've seen of him on video and interview, he seems like a really sweet horse. And I don't know, Breyer doesn't do vaulting horses very often, so I thought that was pretty cool too. Next is Ace, or Nightlife. This was the guy that I really wanted to hand pick because Breyer shaded blacks can vary so much. And I'm really, really happy with my copy. He has great dapples, he has really nicely shaded cheekbones, and his eye is so cool. He's got the one eye that's this eye. And I don't know what the scientific term is for it, but it's half blue, half brown, which is so cool. I just touched him with like my lotion hand, so now he looks a little shiny and smudgy, so I'll have to clean him off later. But he's really cool. It was nice to see another color that I liked on this mold. I know he's a portrait horse, but I really don't like the color of the Chincoteague stallion that they did on him. I'll probably get him if I can find a copy that I like eventually, but I really like this black color. It's so common to see Welsh cobs in this black color. There's also a lot of other possible breeds for just a solid black pony. So I'm excited for this guy. I really like him. All right, I did also really want to pick this girl out. This is Bellissima Sapphire, and she's an endurance horse, the real horse is. And I was so happy to see them use this sculpt. This is the original Oasis sculpt, and I think that they said in the live stream that the last time they used this variation of this mold was Gold Raven in 2010. So it's been 15 years, and I love. This is my favorite, like, Oasis It's Just a Dream version. With this tail, this mane, this neck, like, this is my favorite. So I was really happy that they chose her. And this is a really, really deeply shaded chestnut. Like, she's a beautiful chestnut color. I have her on my shelf next to the original, who is beautiful in her own right, but I'm like, man, she's just like, there's so much more depth to this color. So I thought that was great. Like, you know, with the portrait horses, people are like, oh, I don't like the color, I don't like the color. Well, it's a portrait horse, so like, if you don't like a plain chestnut horse, there's not a whole lot they could do to help you. But I thought that they did this plain chestnut horse really, really well. And I have no qualms with solid colors. I don't think people quite realize the real life ratio of things with spots to things that are solid, and how much more saturated the pool of spotted things is in model horses versus real life. Not that like the statistics of your collection have to match the real world, but when it comes to portrait horses, I'm sure a lot of them are going to be solid colors because so many real horses are solid colors, especially sport horses, and that tends to be, you know, a lot of what like Breyer's looking for, whether it's English or Western sport, like, or vaulting or endurance. Like, those are just, they're real horses, and a lot of them are solid colors. So, but I thought that both of these guys were very, very nice solid colors. So thank you, Breyer, for that. And then I only got one regular special run, so I'll throw him up here too. Okay, and please don't hate me. I can't remember the names of these horses when they're more than 2 words long. Like, truly, it does not stay in my head. I think his name was Let the Good Times Roll. If not, I will correct myself. But this is the show jumper. He's a sooty buckskin leopard Appaloosa, I believe. And we found out at BreyerFest that he was a split, so they had the glossy loose mane and then a matte braided mane. We found out today, at time of filming, that it was a 50-50 split, and I really like the braided version of this horse. I think that that's just the hunter in me. I like a nice braided warm blood, which is what this is, and I pulled the glossy long mane one, and I was kind of like, that makes sense, that's kind of my luck. But I had a friend who pulled this one, Erin, Ren Restorations, thank you, Erin. And it was so funny because we had said the night before, we were just talking about, you know, oh, this variation, that variation, and we said the opposite thing. I was like, I want the braided matte. She was like, well, I want the loose glossy. Well, she pulled this one, and I pulled the loose glossy, so we swapped. And it worked out great. And I really like him. I think eventually, like, I do like him a lot, enough to where I think eventually I would add a loose glossy for the right price once things have calmed down. But for now, I have my favorite of the two, which is really nice, and Erin got her favorite of the two, so it worked out great. He was my only, like, regular special run, and now we will get into the surprises that I got. Normally, you guys probably know at this point, if you've watched me for a couple of years, if I collect the surprise mold, which I don't always. I don't collect Hamilton. It was Hamilton 2 years ago. But if I collect the mold that the surprise horse is on, my goal is typically to get one of every realistic color. And if I don't pull glossies, that's typically going to be mattes. I'm not typically a girl that cares to buy the glossy surprises. I just like the different colors. I like the congas. I like the variety. I like the showability of all the different variety of colors on different molds. I think you can see, I don't know if you can see my Emersons. They're all, no, they're all the way up at the top, but it's just like literally just a gradient of all the different colors they've done on Emerson, who was the surprise last year. And it's so fun. Like, that's the thing that I like. I like the different colors. I like the variation. I don't always care about the finish. From a collectability standpoint, there are like certain congas where, yeah, sure, I'd love to have like the glossy versions of everything. But normally, I just like the colors. That's just, collect what you like. I like to have the variation in the colors. So I try to go home with one of every color. Like a nice one of every color, but just one of every color. If it's a mold that I collect, I don't do the decos, and I don't do molds I don't collect. So Breyer has killed me repeatedly the past, like, since 2020. 2020, it was Giselle, then Dundee, then the Cleveland Bay, and then it was Hamilton. I was safe that year. And then it was Emerson, and this year it was Totalist. So, thank you, Breyer, for picking good molds that I collect, which hurts my shelf space and my wallet, but here we are. It's by choice. So, without further ado, you'll see what I did this year. I did come home with one of every color. This year I was really bad. So this is a full set of the glossies, excluding the deco. They did not do the Roan in gloss, so he is matte. And then I did, this one was my pull. So I only had one special run ticket this year. I didn't connect with any of the other models, again, besides the show jumper, who I liked. So I just decided to do the one ticket, and I kind of resigned myself to purchase the surprises secondhand if it was something that I liked. And Breyer picked one of my favorite molds. I love Totalis. Totalis is probably my third favorite mold, point blank. Newsworthy Salinero Totalis. I love him. And these colors are insane. insane. This is, in my opinion, I think this is the nicest surprise horse they've ever done. That's my opinion. You can feel differently, but I think this is the nicest surprise horse they've ever done. I think these are the nicest special run colors that we've ever seen in a surprise run before, and it's on my third favorite mold of all time. I would have done the same thing if this was Newsworthy or Salinero. I would probably do the same thing for like up to my top 5 molds. So, I was very bad this year. I love them all. I will kind of talk about like how this came to be, and then what my favorites are. When we found out the surprise mold was Totalus at the open show, I was like, oh my gosh, I only have 1 ticket. I'm gonna have to hunt these things down. And for context, I bid in the auction this year. I was hoping to come home with an auction horse, but I was only interested in 1 lot, and I knew it was going to be one of the top sellers, and it was, and I still threw my bid in at it, but I did not come home with him, which was fine. I was pretty confident going into it that was going to be what happened, but I wasn't willing to budge on my auction budget. One, because, well, broadly speaking, it exists for a reason. I think it's not wise for me to spend more than what I set my budget at, particularly right now because we are in the process of buying a real horse, or at least shopping and trying to make that happen. So I had a budget and I was not going to go over that budget. I was only bidding on 1 lot. My budget came, went, and then was exceeded by about $5,000. So I did not come home with an auction horse, which was fine. When I saw the situation, I kind of expected that was what was going to happen. So it wasn't my year for that, but when that didn't happen, I said, hey, now I have a surprise horse shopping budget. And so I hit the Clarion Sunday night actually, was the first night I had the time to do this, because I did not have time to do it Saturday night. But Sunday night, I did some serious room shopping, and I purchased all of these. Sunday, day, and night. I did not overspend on them, and that is going to be my like little soapbox moment for this. Do not overpay for these. The highest I paid for one of these, I think, was $275, and the lowest I paid for one of these was $150. Don't overpay for your glossy surprise horses. I know that they're like the hot ticket item that you want to come home with so bad, and people know that, and they slap a $450 price tag on them. They are not worth that. Don't overpay for your glossy surprise horses. I think that the silent auction lot of these, now granted you're also paying for the convenience of getting them all at once and going home with them from BreyerFest, but I think it sold for like $3,000. And I was like, guys, what are we doing? So don't overpay for your glossy surprise horses. You will be able to get these for reasonable prices. I was able to get them for reasonable prices for what they're going to be worth in a couple months/years. I got a lot of these from friends. I think at least these 2 came from friends. This one came from my friend Katie yelling through the Clarion, does anyone have a glossy gray surprise? And then these 2 I bought from very nice people online. And then this one again, the matte, I pulled organically. But I'm so happy to have these guys. I only have 1 other glossy surprise in my collection just because like I don't care enough about the other ones to spend the money, to go after them, to hunt them down for good prices. But I really, really liked this run. It's such a good run. All of these colors are so beautiful. I love Totalus. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. And for some reason, these colors and gloss to me, they did it. They did it. And like I said, I don't always care. Sometimes I prefer the matte. I preferred the matte show jumper. There's a lot of reasons why sometimes I would prefer to have the matte over gloss. Like, again, congas, some like extreme congas for me, I will want glossy things even if they're hard to get. Totalus was one of them. However, I also prefer these colors in gloss. These are such nice glossy colors. I will say my favorite of the group is the glossy Pinto Palomino. His color, his pinking, he's just beautiful. But kind of the wild card for me was the Silver Bay, because I'm kind of like, on Silver Bays, I don't always love them. This is a gorgeous color. Hello Shark, do not bump the table with these. Girl, I love you so much. You cannot bump the table right now, my friend. The Silver Bay was the wild card for me. I was not expecting to like him as much as I do. I like him, controversial, way better than the Sooty. I like the Sooty Palomino. He's pretty. I like the Silver Bay so much better. So much better. It's my personal opinion. Also, I don't know why the gray has been getting so much shade. People are like, oh, the gray's so boring. I don't like the gray. The gray is beautiful. He's beautiful. He has a pink snip. Hang on. Look at his pink snip. He's so cute, and this is such a well done gray. It's like a little bit cooler toned Prague. Like, I would like to get a picture of him next to Prague because their color is very similar. Again, I think Prague is a little bit warmer toned gray and he's a little bit cooler toned, but very, very similar, glossy, dark, dappled gray. And then I love the Roan. If I had to put them in an order of my favorites, I think it would go Palomino Tobiano, Roan, Gray, Silver Bay, Sooty Palomino, then my matte friend. Which I still love the matte. I'm going to keep the matte because it's my favorite color of the run. So I'm going to keep the matte that I pulled. I probably won't try to get the rest of the mattes of this run because I have the glossies. But they're so pretty. And I was like actually so relieved to be able to add these guys because I did not want to have to hunt them down secondhand. I knew the carnage that was going to happen once people got home and they listed them on the internet for $400. So I'm really glad I was able to get most of these guys for reasonable prices in Kentucky. Yeah, I'm thrilled with them. It's such a nice set of horses. Okay, and then you guys know I did quite a bit of volunteering this year. I judged at the Resin Renaissance on Thursday, and then I volunteered at the horse park doing my demo on Saturday and Sunday. So I did wind up with a couple of volunteer models. I pulled this guy on Saturday. He was the volunteer model that I got for judging at the Resin Renaissance. And then I pulled this guy for doing my hobby demos on Saturday and Sunday. So I did happen to pull a full set of the Salou volunteer model organically. So I did not have to trade for any of this guy. The black with belt and spotting I got from Kansas. I was a steward at the Youth Novice Show at Breyer Midwest in Kansas. So I've had this guy since March, but I have a full set, and that was my goal. I love Duende, and I love this run. This was such a cool run. Again, if I have to pick a favorite, I'm going with the crowd favorite. I love the gray. Although I do really love the black with the belt and spotting. And you want to know what? This third color is growing on me. I know people are like kind of a little confused about him and like the reference photos that were shared. And I can respect that and I can understand it. But he's definitely growing on me and I think that he is really nice. They're all really nice. This whole run was nice. And yes, I would definitely splurge to try to get a glossy manager's model at some point in the future, but that point is not right now, but maybe someday, because look at him, he's so nice. So thank you, Breyer, for working with Leslie to make such a beautiful ambassador model this year. I just thought when we found out what it was and like the cool colors when we were in Kansas, I just thought it was the coolest thing. It's one thing to do like, oh, 3 shades of chestnut. It's another thing entirely to do 3 different colors that are all super unique. And then also not just like unique, but unique to the type of horse that this mold is supposed to be, or like one of the types of horses this mold can be. I thought that was so creative and so cool, and I hope they continue to do like oddball colors and stuff like that in the future for runs like this. because it was just so cool, because it's educational, they're unique, they're gorgeous. I just, like, chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. This was such a cool run. All right, next we are going to do my Clarion purchases, models. I know we already talked about the performance stuff. I say Clarion purchases lightly because they're pretty much, these are just the models that I purchased secondhand at BreyerFest. All of these except for one were planned in advance, and one of them was shipped, so I didn't actually pick it up in Kentucky because the friend I purchased it from was not in Kentucky. So actually, we'll start with that one because I can reach her. First Clarion purchase is the matte Blue Roan Tobiano CC Shuffle. I love this color. My friend Hannah was selling this girl. It was like a few weeks before BreyerFest, and I was like, I think I'm gonna be bad, and I think I need that. She's a really nice copy. Hasn't yellowed like barely at all. She could maybe go outside for like a day or two, but she looks great for how old she is. I love Roxy. I'm a sucker for a cute Roxy, and I love this color on her. I love I love roans, but I love like a Tobiano roan. That's a little bit of foreshadowing, but she was my first Clarion purchase. My second Clarion purchase, bought all of these actually I bought from friends. I bought this guy from my friend Amara. This is Ferris, and he was an event boutique model from Sweet Home Chicago in 2015, so he's 10 years old. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about this. I love this mold. I love this mold. I love his stubby tail. I love an Appaloosa with a stubby tail. They're so funny and adorable and sassy. Whoa! Excuse you. Girl, you're gonna like knock this, you're gonna take this whole house down, my friend. And I had been wanting a Ferris for a long time. He's been on my ISO for years, and I just have missed out on him the times that I've seen him for sale. And I knew when Amara listed him that I had to have him, and he now gets to hang out on his shelf with his brother, Cooper from the Vintage Club. I love Cooper from the Vintage Club. He's so cute. So Ferris and Cooper get to be brothers and hang out with their stubby tails and their cute leopard spots. Okay, next, this one's exciting. This is obviously Jazz Fusion. I bought a copy of Jazz Fusion from my friend Hallie. Yes, and I got him Thursday evening so that he could go to the open show with me on Friday. And he is so beautiful. I don't know why I did not get a copy of this horse sooner, to be honest with you guys. He's beautiful. Like, I get it. I've always gotten it. I know he's beautiful, but like, man. The connoisseurs are just built different. My Sand Dollar and this guy have got to be my favorite connoisseurs that they did ever. He is so handsome, and like, even I showed my mom a picture of him, my non-hobby mother, God bless her, and she was like, "That's a pretty horse," and I was like, "Thank you, Mom. It is an expensive one too, but he's worth it." So here he is in all of his glory. I love him. I cannot wait to get him out to a few more shows. All right, and this one was not pre-planned, but this is Glossy Legend. He was the He was the sectional grand champion prize model at the open show this year. And I did not win this guy. I bought him from my friend Aaron, so thank you, Aaron. He is beautiful. I love Jorg and his chunkiness. I love Shannondale, but I think Jorg is my favorite draft sculpt. So when I saw they were doing a prize model of him, I was like, well, eventually I will want to get one of those. And then Aaron won one and didn't want to keep him, and I was like, okay, twist my arm a little bit, I'll take him home. And he's so cute. I love the Real Horse Legend too. And I do think that gloss really does something for him. I like my matte one, I like the regular run, but he looks really nice in gloss. Alright, so those were my 4 Clarion models. And then I have one more very special horse to introduce in this video. This guy, it was kind of like the piece de resistance of my BreyerFest haul this year. I have wanted him for many years, since I found out that he existed, since I joined the hobby, and it's very surreal now, especially with like what he signifies for my collecting, that I have been able to add him, and I don't know if I quite have the right words, so I think I'm just going to show him, and then maybe the words will come to me. But this is Jump for Joy. Yeah. So he's obviously a newsworthy. I'm like so excited. I don't even, what are words? Like I can't quite articulate anything. This is also like my first time seeing him in really good lighting. I unboxed him so late last night. Yesterday was such an insane day. This is like actually my first time really looking at him, and he's just so beautiful. He was the overall reserve champion prize model from BreyerFest 2014. So he is 11 years old. He's a run of only 10, which makes him the most limited horse in my collection. I have 2 that are either 11, no. Actually, he's the most limited traditional in my collection. I have a mini that's also a run of 10, but he's the most limited traditional now by like 1 or 2, I think. And he was the last super limited newsworthy that I needed for my conga. He was the hardest to find newsworthy that I needed for my conga. I acquired a Toulouse from the same person last fall. He was in my collection tour. So this was the only one I was missing that was like really, really hard to get. I do still need a glossy blue, but I'm not quite as worried about getting a glossy blue as I was about getting a Jump for Joy. Those of you who know me, or I guess have watched any of my content, know that I love a bay roan. My profile picture, my like channel page logo mascot is based off Man of the Hour, because I love bay roans. I love a bay roan sport horse so much. I know it's like a very niche thing. They don't come in bay roan a lot. I love bay roans so much. My favorite one of a kind ever of all time, bar none, is Cheryl Ellison's Dundee that is a bay roan blanket Appaloosa. That will never change. That is my favorite coat of literally all time. And Jump for Joy is bay roan. He's a bay roan my goodness, he's a bay roan minimal Tobiano. His bay roan color is beautiful. It is like, if you look at pictures of a lot of bay roan horses, especially bay roan pinto horses, they are this more like cool shade versus Man of the Hour is a bit more of a warm bay roan. They can come either way, warm or cool, but he's definitely a more cooler toned bay roan. He's just beautiful. Like, he's everything I had hoped that he would be. This specific piece also, he was the one from the auction, which from my understanding means that he was the test color, so the test piece for the run. So he was like I believe he was like the first production piece of the run, and then I know he was the one, because it says this on a COA, he was the one that was sold in the live auction that year. They used to sell prize models in the live auction as well as the raffle models, or maybe instead of the raffle models. I don't know when that changed. I just know now it's raffle models. But back in 2014, they were auctioning prize models, I guess. That was before my time. But this is the one from the auction, again, from my understanding, the first like production piece or test piece for the run, which is so cool. He's perfect. I haven't thought of a name for him yet, because I don't know. He's so perfect. I'm so picky about names, and he has to have a perfect name because he is perfect. And I'm so honored to have him. yeah, I just love him. He is very special. And to have him and his brother in my little horse corner is so cool. Someday I'll get a glossy blue. I'm not really too concerned about it. So yeah, he was the one for the conga that I was really like, man, I don't know. It could be years. Because when there's only 10 of something, how often do they actually move around? And you never know. So thank you so much, Caitlin. I appreciate you being willing to let this guy come live with me. He will be very cherished here with his brother and all of the other hunter ponies that I have in my corner. Yeah, I love him. He's perfect, and he's definitely the highlight of my haul. Crazy haul this year. It was an awesome year with beautiful models, and I'm very, very thankful. Just my video disclaimer, I'm an adult. Most of you guys know that. You should know that. You've seen my face. I'm an attorney. I'm married. We have a house. BreyerFest is something that I look forward to every year, so I do go and I invest a lot back into the hobby, both in terms of finances, energy, effort, like actual physical volunteering. It's one of my favorite weeks all year. Every year, again, is different. There's some years when I might come home with less than half of this, and that's fine. Every year is different. Everyone's experience is unique. Even if you only came home with 1 or 2 horses, your experience is valid, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all start somewhere. Every year is different. I'm sure with the things I plan on doing in the future, there will be years where I don't come home with quite as substantial of a haul as this. But I still will go regardless, because it's about more than just the plastic horses. It's about the community. It's about seeing your friends who you might literally only see once a year. It's about the actual horses, and it's about just your overall experience. So I'm extremely thankful for all these horses and that I was able to bring them home. But it's about a lot more than that. So yeah. Shop wisely, I guess, is the moral of that little bit, and do what's best for you. I was lucky to have a pretty big year this year, and I'm very thankful for that. But again, it won't be that way every year. I don't expect it to be that way every year. And you have to do what's best for you, no matter what that looks like. And regardless, your experience is valid and worth sharing. So, all of that said, let's go to a close-up of the haul. Alright, so that was my BreyerFest haul 2025. Crazy year for the hobby and crazy year for the haul, the horse corner, all of the above. I hope you guys enjoyed, and depending on what order they come out in, also check out my BreyerFest experience video. If it is out, check it out. If it's not out, it'll be out soon. I've said this before this year, but doing long format YouTube videos on my personal channel was not a big priority for me this year. I'm producing monthly videos for my Show Smarter series that are hosted privately on YouTube. So that's been taking up a chunk of my editing capacity. I can only edit so much. It's one of my least favorite things in the world. So I haven't been doing a lot of long format videos, just kind of like the staples in my repertoire. I really, really, really want to make an effort to make a YouTube video discussing the Oakland Open, which is my live show that I'm hosting in September. It is my first time hosting a live show. And I have learned a lot along the way. I think I've gathered good information to know that could be helpful to share with people that might be interested in hosting in the future. And it's just cool, like it's a different side of the hobby. I've really enjoyed the learning process so far. Obviously it hasn't happened yet at time of filming, but the prep process, the preparation process at least has been really fun so far. I enjoy event planning. If it would pay my bills, I would do it professionally, honest to God. But yeah, it's been really fun, and I think it would be worthwhile to get some footage of everything that I've prepped so far and to do a video of the day of. I might enlist husband Sam to take video. We'll see. I really want to try. So hopefully I can pull that off. If so, keep an eye out for that. If not, I'm not sure what is next for this channel in 2025. I imagine I will go back to posting longer format videos in 2026 because I will be done with the Show Smarter series at that point. But I'm not sure yet. I haven't really decided. I haven't thought that far ahead with regards to the YouTube channel. But that's where we are right now. So enjoy the BreyerFest content, and hopefully keep your eyes out for an Oakland Open video in either September or October, hopefully. So enjoy, and happy BreyerFest.